This is the third lecture in cost, project management costs, project management costs. So we'll go now directly to our own mark and complete what we started about the cost management. And we said before, let me remind you quickly. Let me remind you quickly about what we talk about our work regarding the cost management. Okay. This was the last thing which we did, the survey, or we did the project cost or project costs, and we make the estimations. Here, the project cost control will go now to the controlling cost, how we will control the costs. And what are the procedures? The word control usually mean to put the standards and measure the actual performance. Then we check out for any deviation between the standards or the plans and the actual performance. This is the core of the control process. The control process is just to check if the work is done based on the criteria and the standards. So you will compare between the actual performance and the planned or the standards, just to check to find out if there is deviation or no. If there is deviation, we have to check out what kind of deviation is this. Is it positive deviation or negative deviation? Positive deviation as a management should enhance this and encourage this positive deviation. Negative deviation, no, we have to correct it, but not to catch the mistake. Now, I'm saying that this watch as example, I will produce this watch for the cost of $10. Okay, I put the standard that the cost per watch is $10, that it will cost production of $10. In the project will cost $10 for producing one watch, one wristwatch like this. Okay, $10. Now, when I came to see the costs was $13. The cost was not 10, but exceeded the 10 and became $13. So in that case, this is a negative deviation. So the standard is $10. The actual costs, the standard costs is $10. It should not exceed $10. This is the planned or the standard, $10. But what happened, the actual costs came to be $13. 10 actual, 10 planned, 13 actual. That means there is a deviation between both of them, between the actual results and the planned previously. This is a negative deviation because the cost increased $3. Why did these costs increase? This is the question. The core of the control process is not to catch mistakes, but the core of the control process is to correct the deviations and mistakes whenever we find any mistakes. So what we have to say here, that the project cost control includes what? Monitoring cost performance, ensuring that only appropriate project changes are included in a revised cost baseline. So we'll make sure that everything is in its place. Informing project stakeholders, and we said before the word stakeholders means anyone who has benefit, simply anyone who has benefit to deal with the organization or our entity or our business, anyone who's having to deal with our own, and either direct or indirect, who's having benefits in dealing with the organization. So informing project stakeholders of authorized changes to project that will affect the cost. So if there are small variables that pop up all of a sudden and we saw it just now. So we have to say to the stakeholders, hey, there are more costs are coming in the way due to changes in economic situation, due to inflation, due to any kind of risk, environment risk, anything happen that will change the cost, the stakeholders should be informed previously. Many organizations around the globe have problem with the cost control. Of course, you cannot control the cost 100% because the cost might change from a time to time, particularly now in a world very volatile and very fluctuated. And in economics, it has its ups and downs, and the curve is going up and going down. So expect that also the costs will differ based on what's surrounding in the external environment, the prices and the prices of the currency and the price of change, the exchange price of the currency to its relation to the other currencies, the inputs and the materials, and the inflation which is happening in the whole world. All this will increase the costs of production. So in that case, you have to put a contingency approach to deal with the new changes and new variables that pop up to the surface, and you have to deal with it accordingly. Okay. Earned value management. What do we mean by the earned value management? So what do we mean by earned value management, EVM? Okay. Earned value management is a project performance measurement techniques that integrates scope, time, and cost data. Okay. You remember when we talk about the triangle, we said we have a triangle that consists of the time and the cost and the scope. And we said the scope is the deliverable or the end of the stages, the phases of the project, and that you deliver. You did your target and you deliver the product of your project into the final consumer or the end user. And we said also that the time and the costs on the three are interacting, and each of them depend on the other. The relationship between them is interacting relationship, interrelated relationship between the time, the cost, and the scope. So given a baseline original plan plus approved changes, you can determine how will the project is meeting its goals, how the project will be meeting its goals. You must enter actual information periodically to use EVM or earned value management. Okay. Okay. More and more organizations around the world using the earned value management to help control project cost. Okay. The earned value management is having terms. There are terms for the earned value management. What do we mean by the earned value management? Let us see a video about the earned value management. Then we come back to complete our work. Okay. Let's see this video about the earned value management.
Hello and welcome to this training session on what is earned value and how we will use earned value in cost control. Let's take a small example here. We have a project which has 10 work packages, and for better understanding purpose, I mentioned here each work package we budgeted 100,000. So the total budget of the project is 1 million. And let's assume this project is a 10 months duration project where the work is equally distributed. Each month we complete one work package. Now we are at the end of month 5. So as of today, we're supposed to complete 5 work packages. So how much we supposed to spend? 5,000. That is your planned value. The planned value for this project as of today is 500,000. But how much did we spend? Here is the status. We planned to spend 500,000, but we had actually spent 510,000. And the total project budget is 1 million. Now, when you look at these three information, the total budget of the project is 1 million. As of today, we plan to spend 500,000, but we had actually spent 510,000. So when you look at it.
Now let's say again, sum up what he said in a few minutes. This video is very organized and very ordered, and it will let you understand the cost control. I like the videos because actually it says what the book says in hundreds of pages in just only 10-15 minutes. You get the idea and everything around it. And at the same time, it's also shorting up all the way to the real information. That's fine. So now this is the plan. Like the project will finish, will be done within 10 months, within 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say, or 10 phases. Whatever each phase or each month will cost $100,000. It's suppose if we come to in the middle now, in the middle of the product as example, in the middle of the project, which is month 5, we're supposed to be spending already 100,000 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100. So all those will come to $500,000, which is the PV. Okay. But when we come to see here, actually, what is happening that we spend more than the $500, like if you calculate them, 120 and 110, 200, we see here 30,000 minus 20, that is 10,000 plus 25,000 minus 25,000. By other meaning, some stages are more than the 100,000 and some stages are less than 100,000. So we calculated better. If we calculate it, that will be fine. So here is the calculator, and we will calculate these stages. 120,000, 120,000 plus second stage 110,000 plus 80,000 plus 125,000 plus 75,000. So that will equals 510,000. That's exactly the same number, 5,000 and 510,000. So we are 10,000 more than what we planned. And we said the control means to compare between the standards. The standards here is 500,000 in 5 months. And the real performance or the actual performance is 510,000. So there are an increase of 10,000 more than the norm or the value. Okay.
At the surface level, we might think cost-wise, we are not performing good because we're supposed to spend 500,000, but we spent 510,000. But the actual scenario is we cannot tell how are we performing. To know exactly how we are performing cost-wise and in fact schedule-wise, we need to get what is the earn value. Now, to get the earn value, we need to find what is the actual progress for these 5 work packages. Now, to understand what is PV, what is AC, and what is EV, it's worth to look at its old name, PCWS, which is now known as planned value. PCWS means what is the budgeted cost of work scheduled. I have scheduled for the first 5 months 5 work package and I budgeted 500,000, which is my planned value. The next one is actual cost of work performed. It's my actual cost. Now, how much money I spent for the work what I performed. But we know how much money we spend here, 510,000, but we don't know how much work we performed actually. That's why we cannot compare planned value and actual cost and decide how we are performing. So to know how much work we performed, we need to get the progress of each work package. Now, we have different progress measurement techniques to measure the progress of the work package. I will do a separate individual training session on how to measure the progress of the work package. But here we assume work package 1, the progress is 100%. Work package 2, the progress is 100%. Work package 3, let me put 90%. Work package 4, 80%. Work package 5, 50%. And work package 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we haven't even started. So look at work package 1. For work package 1, we planned to spend 100,000. We had actually spent 120,000. The progress of this work packages we had completed 100%. So the earn value would be equal to the progress multiplied by the budgeted cost for this work package. Keep in mind, if the progress is 100%, the earn value is always your planned value, because this is what you had budgeted to spend for work package 1, and you had completed the work package, so you're supposed to spend only 100,000, but you had spent 120,000. Now, the same formula we have to apply for each of this work package. So when I drag this, I'll get the earn value for each of these work packages. So the total earn value in this case is 420,000. Again, the total budget of the project is 1 million. The planned value as of today is 500,000, or otherwise the budgeted cost of work schedule. I scheduled 5 work package. For that, I budgeted 500,000, but I had spent 510,000. Does it mean I finished 5 work package, or I finished only 3 work packages, or 4 work packages, or 6 work packages? That information is not given here. To find what is your actual progress, we need to know the percentage of each work package, and we will multiply with the budgeted cost of work scheduled or planned value. So we had completed first two work package 100%. So we gained 200,000. The third work package 90%. The fourth work package 80%. The fifth work package 50%. So the total earned value is 420,000. Now we can come to a conclusion. We plan to spend 500,000, for which we're supposed to complete 5 work package, but we spent 510,000. But what is the actual work we completed and how much it's worth? The worth of work you completed is 420,000. So what is the cost variance? You completed 420,000 dollars of work minus, for that you spent 510,000. So you had spent 90,000 more than what you're supposed to spend. If the performance is bad, make sure the answer comes negative. Now, cost performance index is equal to your earned value divided by actual cost. When you are performing the cost variance and cost performance index, we will bother only about earned value and the actual cost. We will not consider the planned value. When we analyze the schedule variance and schedule performance index, then we compare the earned value with the planned value. We completed $420,000 of work, but we're supposed to complete $500,000 of work. So we are $80,000 behind the schedule. What is schedule performance index? Earned value divided by planned value. Okay. This shouldn't be a dollar, it's an index. So the cost performance index is 0.82. Anything less than 1 is bad. And the schedule performance is 0.84. So again, anything less than 1 is bad. So in this case, you are over budget, cost overrun. In SPA, you are behind the schedule. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome.
Actually, this video is very nice because it's explaining everything in details. Let me go for the most important points here and repeat it back for my dear students. In this case here, we knew now, like this is actual, this is given, and this is given as well. Like the progress is 100%. So we have to go for the management plans and know how far did the project achieve progress for each package. So here as example, 100,000, but the actual cost was 120,000. Here we plan 100,000, but actual cost was 110,000. Here we plan 100, but the actual cost was 80,000. Here we plan 100, and so it was 125, and here, so it was 75. And the progress of each stage, like the progress of the package 1 is 100%. That means that the work all is done totally 100%. 100% for stage 2, 90% of package 3 means 90% of the work of package 3 is done, not the 100%, less 10%. The other 20 means 20% less. 50% means 50% less in stage 5. And what happened here also, he declared what is the meaning of the budget cost. This is the budget cost is 1 million. This is the budget cost, which is 1 million. BSE or BCAWS, the budget cost. And the BV is the budget cost of work performed. So we have 5 months work. 5 months work is 500,000. So, and the AC is the actual cost performed. Actual cost is 510. When we calculate these numbers, they became 510. So we have 3 numbers now. We have a number for the whole planned standard costs, which we plan for the whole project, which is 1 million. We have the share of that for the 5 stages would be 100 for each stage. That means that it should be $500 or the plan value for the stages which is done, which is 500, which is budget cost of work performed. Then the actual costs, when we calculate them, 120 and 110 plus 80,000 plus 125 plus 75, they are the output is 510. Then after that, we will take our denominators, the cost variance first, and see one by one. Let us repeat it back to see the numbers here. How did he exclude the numbers? And we would say each number again.
30,000. The progress of this work packages we had completed 100%. So the earn value would be equal to the progress multiplied by the budgeted cost for this work package. Keep in mind, if the progress is 100%, the earn value is...
So multiply the progress by the planned value. The progress by the planned value. Okay.
It's always your planned value, because this is what you had budgeted to spend for work package 1, and you had completed the work package, so you're supposed to spend only 100,000, but you had spent 120,000. Now, the same formula we have to apply for each of this work package. So when I drag this, I'll get the...
Just to exclude these numbers again, what is the meaning of it? 100% times 100,000 will give me 100,000. 100% times 100,000 will give me 100. What is the 100,000? 100%, this is the progress. How will I know it? It will be given to you in the exercise if we give you exercise like this. 90% means only 90% of the phase 3 or stage 3 or month 3 had been done. 90% only of them. So when we multiply, we'll say 90% times 100,000 will give me 90,000. This phase 4, 80% times 100,000 will give me $80,000. The work is worth $80,000. It should be cost like 100,000, but the worth is should be 80,000 because we did only 80%. Okay, here 50%, we did only 50% of the total work. So in these stages, we didn't come to it yet. For that reason, the progress is 0% because we are calculating till the fifth phase or 5th month. Okay. Then all these come together. When you calculate them, let us see how much they are.
Earn value for each of these work packages. So the total earn value in this case is 420,000.
So now the total earn value is 420,000. Okay, while the planned value were 500,000. Okay.
Again, the total budget of the project is 1 million. The planned value as of today is 500,000 or other.
Planned value for now, for what is done, for what we calculate the progress for. Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, the budgeted cost of work schedule, I scheduled 5 work package. For that, I budgeted 500,000. But I had spent 510,000. Does it mean?
Okay. I spent already 510,000 while I supposed to spend only 500,000. That means there is a deviation, 10,000 more. 10,000. I should spend only 500,000, but I spent 510,000.
I finished 5 work package, or I finished only 3 work packages, or 4 work packages, or 6 work packages. That information is not given here. To find what is your actual progress, we need to know the percentage of each work package, and we will multiply with the budgeted cost of work scheduled or planned value. So we had completed first two work package 100%. So we gained 200,000. The third work package 90%. The fourth work package 80%. The fifth work package 50%. So the total earned value is 420,000. Now we can come to a conclusion. We plan to spend 500,000, for which we're supposed to complete 5 work package, but we spent 510,000. But what is the actual work we completed and how much it's worth? The worth of work you completed is 420,000.
So let us take those numbers. You really spent 510,000 and the work is worth, what you did is worth only 420,000. You spent 510,000. Actually, you should spend 500, but you spend 510. And at the same time, this work is not worth 510. It's worth only 420,000. So how far the deviation is? Let us see.
So what is the cost variance? You completed 420,000 dollars of work minus, for that you spent 510,000. So you had spent 90,000.
So the cost variance, the variance means you are comparing the actuals, like now you spend actual 510,000 with it should be worth, actually it should be worth 420,000 only. That means there is a variance between what you really spent and what you really did. What you really spent and what you really did is 420, not even 500, not even worth 500 like the stage fish. No, because the work, the progress of the work, you didn't complete all the stages. For that reason, you will say the AC minus the AV will give you the variance. So the variance will be the 420 minus 510 negative. Why negative? That means more spends, more than the limit, is more than what you should do. Okay.
More than what you're supposed to spend. If the performance is bad, make sure the answer comes negative. Now, cost performance index.
So the negative sign here show that the work is not nice, it's bad. The work is not working positively, it's work negatively, means you spend more than you should spend. You spend more than you should spend. When that's a reality, because you should spend like the actual expense are not even the 500, the norm, they are more 10. And actually what you did 400 worth 420,000 only. So 420,000 minus the 510, that means deviation of 90,000. Okay.
Is equal to your earned value divided by actual cost. When you are performing
the cost performance index will equals 420 divided by 510. Let us see this here. Show it. Let us get the calculator back. Okay. Let us say 420,000, of course, divided by 510. That equals 0.82, 82%. Okay, so we divide the EV, what is really worth EV, by the actual what you really spent AC. So EV divided by AC will give me 82%. And let us complete
cost variance and cost performance index, we would bother only about earned value and the actual cost. We will not consider the planned value. When we analyze the schedule variance and schedule performance index, then we compare the earned value with the planned value. We completed $420,000 of work, but we're supposed to complete $500,000 of work. So we have.
Here we go. You will say in this case, here for a schedule performance index, scheduled means the norms. Schedule means the norms. So you will say 420 minus the 500. Let us see.
Or $80,000 behind the schedule.
Okay, so like this, let me do it for you. The 420, you are comparing the actual, the what is worse with the norm this time. So you will say 420. So once you said 420 minus 510, and this is the variance. 420 minus the 500, that will give me the SV or scheduled variance. Here we say 420 minus 500. That will give me minus 80, like we see here, minus 80,000. I make it without the thousands, it's okay. Let me make it with the 1,000 back because I will do 420,000 minus 500,000. That will equal minus 8,000. Notice the minus always show a poor performance. The minus always show a poor performance, and that's why this happened, show a poor performance. So this was about the, then the final step is to calculate the scheduled performance index.
What is scheduled performance index? Earned value divided by planned value. Okay.
So like what he did also, he used the earned value again, but divided by planned value. So he will divide 420, but not by 510, but he will divide it like before. He will divide 420 by 500, like we see here. Let me show you on the calculator again. 420,000 divided by the 500,000, 0.84. 0.84, let us see. 0.84, here we are. 0.84, like you see here, 0.84. So once we divide, we subtract them, and the other time we divide them. When it comes to index, we divide. When it comes to variance, we subtract. We subtract what? We subtract the EV minus the AC, it gives me the variance, and EV divided by AC will give me the index. And also the EV minus the PV will give me the variance, and the EV divided by the PV will give me the index. So always, to get the variance, subtract. To get the variance, subtract. And to get the index, divide. Okay, divide. That's what he said in this video, and it's very nice because it's
an index.
Okay. I prefer, and I want you also to go to this video because it's very important and well see and well discussed and well ordered in a short time. Thanks for this link and the one who did this video. The planned value PV, formerly called the budgeted cost work schedule BCWS, also called the budget. Now we understand that the actual cost. Now after we see did this became very easy for us to comprehend it, because once we've understood the model, it will be easy after this to understand those, because all those terms we used while we are working now. EV is based on the original planned cost for the project, or actively the rate at which the team is completing the work. Okay, the rate of performance, like what we saw here in the video just now, this is the rate of performance or the progress, the rate of the performance. Okay, so it shows how it goes, like the ratio of actual work completed to the percentage of the work. We said 100% mean that this stage is already done. When we say 100%, as example like here, 100% means that this stage is done. 80% means still left 20% was not done from this stage. Okay. Also, that was a part. Then this is here an example, another example, like earned value 5,000, planned value 10,000, actual cost 15,000, cost variance 10,000 minus 10, which is the earned minus the actual cost, will give me minus 10, scheduled variance minus 5. Also, we have cost performance index and the schedule index, same likewise exactly what we had exactly in the previous example, which I showed you. And here, how we will calculate them, and those are the formulas. And I prefer actually that this should be before the other table, so that you can, when you see them, you got them, so you can see that, okay, I think it's okay. We can go back one by one, no problem. Okay, here is all the formulas that we used now before in the example of the YouTube, and the percentage and each one of them. The variance, we said on the variance, always there is minus. Variance, there is minus. But when we talk about index, we divide. When we talk about the index, we divide. Okay, so the estimate of completion, as example, it is also, this is index. So we divide in the index and we subtract in the variance. Rules of thumbs of earned numbers. Negative numbers for cost and schedule variance indicate problems. Like when we said exactly, when we talk about the negative numbers, that mean there are problems, and that's what we saw in the video. Like here, when he was talking about the negatives, those negative minus 90,000, minus 80,000, this means negative performance. Okay. Problems mean that the project is costing more than planned, and this is another problem. So the problems or the minus show me that the project costs are more than what was planned for this product of costs. It shows more cost than it's supposed to be. The CPI can be used to calculate an estimate at completion, ESC, an estimate of what it will cost to complete the project based on the performance and date. So here, it takes the aggregate total performance, and the budget at completion, BAC, is the original total budget for the project. The original one, the original one. Now let's talk about the EMV and how it is used and how it is used worldwide. So the EMV is used in the whole world. This method for regarding the estimating the costs of a project and the control. Project control is used everywhere in the world. And it is particularly popular in the Middle East, South Asia, Canada, and Europe. Most countries require EMV for a large defense of government projects, so it is used also in the government's projects. EMV is also used in such private industry sectors as the information technology, construction, energy, and manufacturing. They are using also these indicators, the variance and the index. The variance show me how far I am from the norm or the standard. And the index will show me the percentage of what I completed to overall, or the percentage of the deviation, how far it will give me a percentage of the deviation itself. The real cost to the planned cost. However, most private companies have not yet applied EMV to their project because management do not require it, feeling it is too complex and not cost effective. Some managers, they think it is not very well to be applied. Okay. These show the earned value message. I don't think we need it so much. The project portfolio management. Many organizations collect and control an entire suite of projects or investment as one set of interrelated activities in portfolio. There are 5 levels of project portfolio management, and this is our second topic, the project portfolio. The word portfolio means like all the assets are within one, like you put in the example, stocks and bonds and money and cash money, all this together, it's also the same. The portfolio means like a purse or like a wallet, including all the kinds of all the investments together. Put all your projects in one database. So this is the portfolio management. What do we do in it? We'll put all your projects in one database. We'll prioritize the projects in your database. You will divide your project into 2 or 3 budgets based on type of investments. So you will divide your project into 2, have more than 1 budget based on the type of what kind of investments you are doing. Automate the repository and apply modern portfolio theory, including risk return. What do we mean by risk return? Risk return means that based on the type of the project itself, you ask for returns. So the more the risk, the higher the required return. The lower the risk, the lower the return required, the required return. So once you ask for when you go for a project with a high risk, you ask for high return on investment. So very risky projects, you will ask for 30% return on investment. But low risk projects, you will ask for 10%. Let me tell you the example which I used to tell my students always. If a company is digging wells, is looking for oil in the desert, this is a very high risk project because they might dig 1 well and 2 wells and 3 wells and they won't find oil. In that case, they ask for high rate of return. Like the investment should be not less than 80% or 90% interest rate or rate of return. $1 will the rate of return means what? $1 invested in business will generate 80 cents. 80% again means that $1 invested in business must generate profits of 80 cents. So that means 80 cents out of 100 cents or 80 cents out of $1. So This is the meaning of R, rate of return or rate of interest. Okay. The higher the risk, like who's working in oil to explore the oil and to look to find oil in the desert or in the forests, is a risky project. For that reason, he asked for a higher rate of return or higher return on investments. But another type of business like the convenience or the variety shop, which is by the corner, or a small business or or a place that you sell in it coffee and juices, there's no risk here too much. So you ask for a rate of rate of return or return on investment about 10%. As example, each dollar will generate 10 cents as profits. Each dollar invested in that kind of non-risky project, $1 can generate, in this case, 10 cents. So the higher the risk, the higher the required return. The lower the risk, the lower the required return. So what are the benefits of portfolio management? It saves money. It reduces redundant projects and coordinated those with overlaps. IT projects can be huge investments, so it makes sense to view them as portfolios. So because he's investing in the IT is great investment, so you will consider them a part of your portfolio. Okay. Can we use the software to assist in the cost management? Yes, that's what we were doing just now in the example, in this example, using the costware to make all the calculus. That's what we are doing just now on this Excel. Okay. Spreadsheets are common tools for resource planning, cost estimating, cost budgeting, and cost control. Many companies use more sophisticated and centralized financial application software for cost information. Project management software has many cost-related features, especially enterprise and project management software. Portfolio management software can help reduce costs. Again, the softwares using spreadsheets in estimating and the budgeting, the budgets and in cost control can also reduce the cost because it's more punctual. So we'll go now to the chapter summary. And we say that project cost management is a traditionally weak area of IT projects. And project managers must work to improve their ability to deliver projects within approved budget. The main process includes plan to the cost management, estimate costs, determine the budgets, and control costs. So this was this lecture today about the cost control and using EMV method for the cost control. Shall see you by the next lecture. Stay safe. Thank you so much and see you on the next lecture.